My name is Jollz, I'm a Radiant player, and today we coach the Silver player who struggled creating an impact for their team. If you're enjoying this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe, considering 80% of you guys are still not subscribed. I do these coaching sessions live, so you're more than welcome to swing by the stream and ask questions. If you're interested in coaching yourself, click the link in the description, click the book a lesson button, and select your plan and time. Lastly, if you want a chance to win free coaching, be sure to comment down below your Discord name and why you think you deserve it. I'll be picking out a person randomly. Other than that, enjoy the video.
Okay, so this person is Silver 3 at the moment. Plat 2 peak. Okay, ADR is a little bit low, yeah. So 132 is a little bit low. Yes, this person plays Sentinels and Initiators. But even with Sentinels and Initiators, you want to aim for like 140 damage per round. 140 to 150-ish. 150 is pretty good. 140 is what you aim for, right? 132 is a little bit low. KD is a bit low. Headshot percentage is a bit low. So I think I can already tell that this is probably more so a crosshair placement issue, right? This is like crosshair placement and like gun control issue that we're probably going to look into. Let's hop into the VOD review. Okay. All right. Chat, what is wrong with this first round buy?
2,000 years later.
The buy, well, if you can't see it, it's half armor, double trips, and one sheriff shot. Well, okay. I personally, I don't like going armor. If you go armor, you can't go trips. And I don't like getting trips if you're going armor. So, okay, one shot isn't enough, right? And Chambers, I'm gonna make this a point. Well, let me say it first. So Chambers Sheriff is actually really strong on first round, and you want to abuse that, right? So you need to trade off your armor and or your trip. All right, I literally wrote a thesis, but hopefully that helps, right? You do not want to have, right? You have 5 people on A. You're setting up trips here. What happens if they go mid? What happens if they go B? What happens if anyone lurks, right? These are the questions you should ask yourself always when setting up. So, is that my mouse? What was that? Yo, Thunk, what's up? What's up? Nice to be back here. I've missed so many streams lately. Hey, all good, all good. You're here now. There goes your one shot. I feel like playing 4 bullets half armors OP on pistol. Yeah. 4 bullets is fine. And half armors isn't bad, but you need to go one trip, right? To do that.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, insta crouching, kind of spamming a little bit too quick with the pistol here. So you also want to set up your TPs aggressively at the start of every round. Full armor, Spectre. I would go Spectre here. I guess you could go Marshall Headhunter. Okay, Spectre, nice. Good. So
a gift.
Let's see where TP. I would have dropped my TP down first. So if you miss, you can just take the TP.
A gift.
Okay, so before the round starts is when Chamber is the most impactful. You need to drop both of your trips and have your TPs set up before the round starts. So you see how like the round started and the TPs aren't set up. You don't have both trips. It's just one trip, right? Like, and you have it set up on B. It's just not really doing much for your teammate, right? So the angle isn't bad, right? The idea with the trip, the idea with the trip isn't to really get them with the slow, or it's not to actually have it proc, right? It's mainly so it gets the info, right? If you put it anywhere back here or in this corner, they can come up from the left side or they can come up from the right. Anyway, this way it gets left and right, and it's more for the information than it is to actually like slow them. As long as it's like watching like a surface area of things and they can't shoot it from far away, then it's a good trip. A shot.
That's a good spot.
So aim is good. I would rotate A. Your teammates all the way pushed up B, right? And they're not making any sound mid.
30 seconds left.
I would have already been rotating. Okay, one mid. Sky. They just walled. They're gonna split on you. Okay, so careful with over peeking. Careful with over peeking here. You get this one kill. I probably would have held more passive angle. You kind of decided to play too aggressive here after getting one, right? This is a little bit like overheating a bit much. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to take this gunfight, right? You don't have your teammate with you to kind of fight off of sight together. It's a 5v3. I probably wouldn't look for this after getting this first kill, realistically. Game sense is so important in this game. That's why I was able to do the classic only to immortal challenge, right? Like utility only to immortal. It's not because I have insane aim. My aim is very mediocre, all things considered. But I have really good positioning, awareness, teamwork, communication, like all these things that are so important. So if I can get there without a gun, it should go to show that everybody could get there using these fundamental steps. What ranks are considered low elo? It's subjective. For me, I think low elo is immortal 2 and under. Yesterday, I got in a couple. Okay, that's good. I like the TP setup you had there. Okay, play bomb here. Ooh, I'm curious how you play this 2v2 now. You're kind of low. You have 2 shots, and it's a 2v2. I'm curious how you play this one out. And your raise isn't close to the bomb, right? So you have to stall enough time for your raise to be able to play this bomb. Okay. I like that you're at least playing the bomb, which is good.
Last player standing.
Oh. Okay.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. Jump. That wasn't it. That okay. It was a really good try. I would have jump spotted this last guy. You're too low to take any sort of fights after that, right? You need to start gambling the fact that he doesn't stick it. Jump spotting for info. I would have dropped maybe. It's a good try. Tier 1 team is drastically different than even a top 100 rank game when you can't choose your teammates. Yeah, but most top 100 players are usually on tier 1 teams. But yeah, you're right. Ranked is a completely different ball game than pro team. I agree.
I am not pleased.
Okay, I like the way you played this. This is really good. You didn't over peek. You didn't over commit. You played the bomb. That you should. You have your ult now. Full armor. You're big chillin'. Okay, so on attack, you want to throw a trip down on down across the map. So in this example, I would put a trip for B push. So if A doesn't work out, you can run back to B and not worry about if they pushed up. So you could put a trip here, which is fine, but I would put one for either mid, or I would probably put one for mid and B rather than like outside of A.
Come to my world.
All right, throw your TP down somewhere here.
Enemy spotted B.
Okay, we're farming. TP down, TP down, TP down. No. I also don't like how you're peeking around some of the corners too. You're kind of holding W around corners, right? So, all right, let me show you. This is something that you've kind of been doing a lot of. And be careful of peeking too close to the angles, okay? So holding W like this is never the move. What you want to be doing is peeking like this. You want to be, not only do you want to be away from the angle, but you want to be holding only your strafe key. One, it displaces your movement a lot further with the same amount of allotted time as you would if you just use your strafe key rather than holding W and A in this example, right? Not only that, but later down the road, you can counter strafe things better. I don't want to introduce you to counter strafing just yet, but that's something that you can work on. You always want to be far away from the angle. When you are close to the angle, they see you before you see them. Your whole shoulder sticks out before you're even peeking because you're close to the angle. But if you play like this Brim, you're actually far away and you have more control. You're less spotted. You're spotted, you know, you have more time to react when you're peeking further back. So, right? Because like if you're closer to the angle, they see you first, you're going to go into a lot of like a disadvantaged gunfight. So what do I mean by that? Okay, let's look. So Snow can definitely see you. I think like even wide swung Snow can see you. Even Sight can see your shoulder, and I know if he's top sight within the window, he can definitely see you, right? So all of these things, I mean, yes, you do have your team who's holding this, Brim is holding this, but I'm just saying in general, what if you get timing from the Snowman guy, right? What if the Snowman guy peeks just now? Brim wouldn't have been able to see it. Brim can't see this angle. Brim is too far to your left to see this angle. So these kind of timings do exist, and you can get punished for it. You just got to be very careful. Even though we are winning here, I feel like I have 0 impact. I'm just getting carried. Am I playing too passive? I just don't want to die first, or else I can... So sometimes games go like this. I don't think you're playing passive. I think on defense you were playing fine. You were playing aggressive when you needed to. I would just make sure you're following up your teammates a little bit more, right? So like the main thing that I'm noticing is like on attack, your teammates are kind of running in. You want to run in with them, right? A lot of the times they're scaling. What does scaling mean? Scaling means when they're pushing into sight, like walking, creating space. They're going into sight. When they're scaling, you want to be scaling with them. There was a couple exceptions, right? When you have an op, your ultimate, you can't just run in there, right? You're just holding for them. That's good. But when you have like a rifle here, you throw your trips down, you throw your TP, and then you scale with your team. You get them into sight. As soon as you get into sight, that's when you throw your second TP out and then immediately watch flank, right?
It's down.
Spike down A.
I have the spike.
A quick switch. Okay, never quick switch. Never quick switch with the op on chamber. You do? Okay, yeah. So basically, if you have the chamber ult out, you could have gotten that set. You could have literally re-peeked and killed them. CSGO habits? Yeah, I figured.
Attackers win.
Yeah. All right, overall, decent game. There's just a couple things that are sticking out for me, right? Your setups is a big thing. All right, let's do the summary here. All right, what did Jared do well in the session? So one thing, I think you won a lot of your 1v1s. I think your aim overall was pretty decent. And you got into sight. You try to play the objective, right? You planted the bomb on attack. You TP'd out. You started watching flank. It was a little bit late, so there is a little window where flanks can definitely, there's timings that can be formed when doing it. But overall, I think your aim was good, and crosshair placement wasn't that bad. Sometimes you were a little bit high, but definitely a lot better than most silver players, I would say. All right. What should Jared spend time practicing before the next session? Okay, this is going to be a big one, all right? It's going to be a big one. So the main things to focus on are your chamber setups. You need to have your chamber trips, both of your trips, before the round even starts, and your TP set, right? Another thing that you also want to focus on is not crouching right away. There's a lot of times where you're just committing to a gunfight literally instantly. Crouching isn't necessarily bad, but you want to not overcommit. You only want to commit after 2 to 3 bullets. The first 2 to 3 bullets kind of gauges where the fight is going to go. If your crouch was on them, you can commit and then crouch afterwards. But don't ever crouch beforehand, and don't always crouch in every single gunfight. Another thing I mentioned was crosshair placement is a little bit high. And as well as like on defense, you want to put trips where you're not playing. That was a big thing. You want to put your trips on places where your team has to not really watch that area. So that's something I'd focus on. And scaling with your team on attack. When your team is going in, you want to go in with them and try and trade their deaths off. And basically just play around your teammates a little bit more on attack side. Jeez, what should we work on in our next session? Okay. So in our next session, I would definitely want to take a look at counter strafing in general, and really just define what good peeking is. and show you really good examples of how you should be peeking. You should always put your back to your wall when you're peeking certain corners. Your comms. That's another thing that I want to take a look at is basically your comms, how you're communicating to your teammates, what you're communicating to your teammates, and that kind of good information calls that you should relay to your team.
That's why I'm balding.
Without me and Chetty, your channel is desolate. You at your peak and you'll never be relevant. Now we got beef and now I'm here to settle it. Channel ain't growing, you might wanna pedal it. You want like 7 whole years to develop it. I'm way above you in another element. Keeping the trunk like I'm a fucking elephant. How you work out and I say you're still not intelligent.